Last time, we ended with a coin resting on a marble desk, a candle burning low. The quiet conclusion that money is less about math and more about the soul. But a question remained, one we did not answer. If behavior matters more than intelligence, then where does behavior come from? Why do two people, given the exact same advice, live two completely different financial lives? Tonight, we go deeper, beneath the choices, beneath the habits, into the invisible architecture that shapes every dollar you will ever earn, spend, or save.
No one is born with a relationship to money. You inherit it, like an accent, like a fear of the dark. Long before you ever held your first paycheck, someone, a parent, a grandparent, a culture, a country, was whispering rules into your subconscious. Money is dirty. Money is freedom. Rich people are greedy. Poor people are lazy. Save every coin. Spend before it loses value. Each of these sentences is a small piece of code installed when you were too young to consent. And here is the strange part. Most adults are still running the financial software of a 7-year-old child. They make six-figure decisions using beliefs they never chose, written in a language they never learned to read. The first act of financial maturity, then, is not budgeting. It is not investing. It is something far harder. It is sitting quietly with yourself and asking, whose voice is this when I think about money? And do I still agree with it? Because you cannot rewrite a story you don't even know you're inside.
Human beings were not designed for long horizons. For most of our history, the future meant tomorrow, the next meal, the next winter. Anything beyond that was a luxury our ancestors could not afford to think about. That ancient wiring is still in your skull. It is the reason a sale today feels more real than retirement in 30 years. It is the reason a small reward now defeats a massive reward later. Economists have a name for this. They call it hyperbolic discounting. The brain, quite literally, shrinks the future. This is why financial discipline feels so painful. You are not weak. You are not lazy. You are simply a creature built for the savannah, trying to negotiate with a banking system built for centuries. The wealthy are not people with stronger willpower. They are people who have designed their lives so that willpower is not required. Automatic transfers, pre-committed savings, investments they cannot easily touch. They do not fight the short-term brain. They build walls around it and then walk away. Discipline is overrated. Architecture is everything. The cost of certainty. We crave certainty the way the lungs crave air. We want guaranteed returns. We want safe predictions. We want someone in a suit to tell us with confidence exactly what the market will do next year. And the market, with infinite patience, smiles and charges us a fortune for the illusion. Every guarantee in finance comes with a hidden price tag. The safer the asset, the lower the return. The more confident the forecast, the more dangerous the forecaster. Certainty is the most expensive product sold on Wall Street, and almost no one realizes they are buying it. The mature investor does something almost spiritual. They make peace with not knowing. They accept that the future is a fog, that the best plans will be interrupted, that even the smartest analysis is a guess wearing a suit. And from that acceptance comes a quiet strength, the ability to act without needing to be right about everything. Uncertainty is not the enemy of wealth. The denial of uncertainty is. Identity and money. Here is a truth most financial books refuse to say out loud. You do not spend money to buy things. You spend money to buy a version of yourself. The car is not transportation. It is a statement. The watch is not a timekeeper. It is an identity. The handbag, the neighborhood, the school, the vacation, Each one is a small purchase of who you want the world to believe you are. This is not vanity, it is human. We are social creatures, and status is the oldest currency of all. Long before there were banks, there were tribes, and inside every tribe, your position determined whether you survived. But here is the trap. The things we buy to signal status almost always cost us the very thing status was supposed to give us: security. The luxury car drains the emergency fund. The bigger house erases the freedom. The image of success quietly devours the substance of it. The wealthy person eventually learns a strange, almost rebellious truth. The most powerful status symbol in the modern world is not needing to signal at all. The quiet car, the simple home, the unbothered face, that is the real flex, and almost no one recognizes it, which is exactly why it works. The two kinds of freedom. There is a freedom you buy, and there is a freedom you build. They look the same from the outside. They are nothing alike. The freedom you buy is loud. It looks like quitting your job at 30, traveling the world, posting sunsets. It is real, for a while, but it depends on the money lasting, on the markets cooperating, on the algorithm continuing to reward you. It is freedom borrowed against a future you do not control. The freedom you build is quiet. It looks like a person who could quit, but chooses not to. A person whose calendar is full, but every meeting is chosen. A person who works hard, but never out of fear. This freedom does not depend on circumstances. It depends on structure, on savings, on skills, on a life designed so that no single bad month can destroy it. The first freedom is a destination. You arrive, you celebrate, and then, slowly, the fear of losing it begins to follow you everywhere. The second freedom is a foundation. You stand on it, and from that ground, you can do anything, including, paradoxically, nothing at all. Aim for the second one. The first one is a beautiful trap. The math of regret. At the end of every financial life, there is an accounting. Not the one your banker does, the one you do, alone, in the last quiet years. And the surprising thing, confirmed by every study of people approaching the end of life, is that the regrets are almost never about money lost. They are about time lost. The job they stayed in too long, the vacation they postponed, the dream they kept saying they would chase once they had enough. The cruelest mathematics in personal finance is this: every dollar you oversave is a dollar of life you underlived, and every dollar you overspend on things that do not matter is a dollar of freedom you traded for noise. The goal, then, was never to maximize wealth. It was to optimize a life, to find the precise personal point where money serves you, not where you serve it. This number is different for every human being on Earth. Nobody else can calculate it for you. Not your advisor, not your parents, not the influencers. Only you, in honest conversation with the life you actually want to live. Find that number, protect it, and then, and this is the hardest part, stop chasing more. The invisible architecture of wealth. It is not your salary. It is not your portfolio. It is not the books on your shelf or the apps on your phone. It is the inherited stories you have finally examined, the short-term brain you have outsmarted with structure, the peace you have made with uncertainty, the identity you no longer need to buy, the freedom you are building, not borrowing, the number you have decided is enough. These 6 invisible beams hold up every wealthy life worth living. You cannot see them, you cannot photograph them, but everyone who has them recognizes everyone else who has them, in a glance, across a room, without a word. The coin from our last episode still rests on the desk.
the candle still burns. But now you understand something the first episode only hinted at. The coin was never the point. You were always the point. Thank you for listening to The Psychology of Money Part 2. Until next time, stay curious, stay honest, and remember, the richest life is the one you would not trade for any other.